Morning, guys. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's hope it's a good week. Sorry I didn't post last week. I've been working on the website. There's a few things you're able to do now. If you could sign up to a newsletter if you wanted to, and then you can get all of Minor GG's blogs get sent straight to your email, and you can see how the systems are performing directly there. So that's done. If you're interested, go to the website and you can find the form at the bottom of the homepage. But let's have a look at what happened last week and where the daily price action looks like we're going to head to this week, which direction we're going. Let's start with the euro. Euro is hanging around this trend line that we broke through here originally. We got back above. There was no real momentum to push forward towards the highs. So we just kind of consolidated going sideways until we had a second attempt of breaking this trend line. And something similar happened. It didn't quite close back above this trend line now, so it doesn't seem like the bulls have complete control. It's kind of getting a little bit choppy around here, so that there's a few areas that I'm looking at. These two highs here, going back into January and also middle of Feb, we put in this high. So I want to see how the market reacts around these levels. Should we stay below this trend line, then let's see what happens when we touch this trend line of higher lows here. Somewhere around 120 is obviously a big level for the euro. So it's a little bit choppiness at the moment, a little bit of a chop fest. Some important levels to get through before we have a bit of room towards our left, probably above this trend line. There's a bit of space here towards 123, and it does seem like there is it's obvious that the trend is still in upwards way. I wouldn't say the bears would be in control until we get below this 119.50 area. So let's see what happens with the euro. Pound has been on an absolute ramp since the start of this month. We briefly got above 140 this morning and on Friday. That was quickly rejected, and we'll see what happens. We're currently trading at 140 at the moment, so big level here. Maybe we find some support around there. We did try in the Asian session to push higher, but the bears have come in before Europe and pushed up back to close to where we opened this week. This trend channel resistance I've had marked up. It's a bit messy, but I think it could be important. We've kind of got within that area this morning already. Although these tests were true tests, they actually penetrated a few times. We haven't done that yet, so we could see more of a move up this week. Let's see what happens there. So that's where I'm looking for resistance. Support would be this trend line. I posted this chart on Friday to say that we've had some kind of accelerated buy-in pressure from the pound. You can see this trend line and then the support of this trend channel. The market has kind of reacted to it there, and also it seems to be increasing the amount. So some acceleration here. This might be enough to drive us up to up through 140 and up to 141. If you look at the weekly, or let's look at the monthly, you can see that this decade-long trend line has been penetrated, and we've broken through that. And since that, it's just been one-way traffic. I'll just show you the weekly for the levels I had marked up. Yeah, 143.50 would be my target. That was, excuse me, I don't like using this trade and view pen that they've got marked up, so I kind of downloaded something different. Yeah, this is the double top, and stuff like that happens. Big market. This is the double top back in 2018. That is going to be the obvious target for the bears to maybe start to get back in, or the bulls to start taking some profit around here. I said that we might reach that by the end of February or the beginning of March. The reason why is because this is kind of a liquidity cap around here of over was it 137.60? Yeah, so like 500 pips. We've already put in 200 of those. So yeah, so I think that this kind of target and this liquidity gap between areas of demand might be enough of a magnet to push us up to 143 this week. And looking by the past 2 weeks, it's two big bullish candles. Doesn't look like the bulls are finished yet. We might have a week of consolidation, but if we close above 140 this week, then I think we could see a bit of a exhaustion and push up towards this 143 level. These wicks, if you look back at this week, are important. So I think 143.50 might be a little bit of a exaggerated move, but 143 would be a nice place to take profit if you're already long around these levels. So let's see what happens with the pound. Go back to the daily. Dollar yen, we've seen some nice moves with this pair. It's been a joy to trade for the hour one system since breaking out of this trend channel kind of descending wedge, whatever you want to call it. Since breaking out of here back in January, we've seen some really nice swings, some good moves, and for UY, especially through this kind of area, it's been a bit choppy and the moves few and far between. Like this would be good to trade, this would be good to trade, and this, but everything in the middle is a little bit spiky for us trading breakouts. So a little bit difficult, but these moves really provide some really good opportunities for this system. Yeah, so this trend channel I had marked up, it seems to be respected, especially resistance and a support. We didn't quite get there on this higher low, and this kind of gap might signal that weakness by the bears, especially after this kind of big run, because we couldn't get a true test of here. As soon as we broke out of this small range or this kind of doji bar, we went back up and tested the trend channel resistance. So here there is another gap, and it seems like the bulls are back in control now. This 105.65 area is pretty big for me, and already today we're back above that after negating all of Friday's move. So let's see what happens here on UY. Keep an eye. A test of this 106.10 would be important, and then this trend channel resistance, and also the big round numbers 105, 106, 104 are usually respected in UI, so have those marked up in your charts as well. GY has been pretty good following cable. Really nice moves since breaking out of these small ranges. It's also been reacting to this this fast moving average. As you can see here, had a little touch of that before putting in a nice outside bar last week, and then we've been rallying higher ever since. And you need to look at the weekly to figure out where the next resistance areas are. It looks like, let me just put a ray on here. Yeah, it looks like we're at an important level now. Big round number 148. But this is really good momentum. Let's see if we could push through here. Above that, there could be a lot of levels, which could be a target for the bulls. Usually when this happens, there could be stops above here, could be stops above here, and here, and you get like a bit of a stop run, and this momentum continues higher. Saying that, we have been on an absolute tear up. You can see where the moving averages are compared to where the market currently trades. So this might take a while. We might hang around this 148 level, might consolidate here, or find support off this high back in October on the weekly charts before we continue this trend and push towards a big round number, really big round number, 150. This will also make sense with this stop kind of trade that I talked about. So yeah, good stuff on pound pairs at the moment. For supports, I would say this 145 has been, which was the last area that was kind of a tight range before we broke out. So I would look to here. Should we rotate lower and come back to test this area below that? Then this September the first high has been important among all of the cross pairs and all of the major pairs. So 142.71, should we get that low? But at the moment, that doesn't look like it's going to be tested in the near term. At least it looks like all the momentum is with the bulls here. So I would be careful if you're looking for shorts. EJ hasn't, well, when you compare GY to EJ, hasn't been moving quite as much. It's had this a few obstacles to get through since we tested this 125. Though it has been on another leg higher. This trend line seems to be respected once again. I probably got it marked up in the wrong place. Should be somewhere like that. So look out, should we get near these highs again, 128.50, 129, big round number. These all might be the targets for EJ. There's also a trend line support area, which I've got marked up, that's been respected 3 times already. So look towards that. Should we rotate lower than this 127? That seems to, like again, the September the first high. It was also resistance back in December. It acted as resistance on this false breakout of 127, and then again you can see it's been important a number of times. So should we rotate and come lower, 127 big round number is looks like a good place to for the bears to take some profit and see what happens next, and maybe some new buyers will enter the market around here. So keep an eye out for that. Might need to look to the weekly to see. Always look left if you need to see where the resistance areas are. You can see there is quite a gap between these highs here back in July 2018 to where we trade now. We've kind of broken this resistance area here. This is the 127.50. So that could act as an area of support. We might not even touch this 127.50. If we react here, then you can see that there is bear weakness, and they couldn't even manage to test this big level here of 127. They got to 127 and push up. So that could lead to a big move up to this 133.12. And the way Forex is moving these days, especially this year, after trading all of last year, is probably my full year of being in the markets every day. You can kind of see that these are different markets to what I've been used to at the past. Things are really moving, and hopefully it continues to stay that way. This trend channel has also been resistance twice, so it's worth having that marked up in your charts. And should we get up there, 130 might be, or 130.50, or 131, which would be around here. This could be the levels that the bulls take profit, but we are. That's over 200 pips away yet, so need some big moves here. Aussie dollar had a big breakout on Friday. I've had this trend line, which turned into it was a wedge originally, I thought. We broke that. It turned into this trend channel support that was respected 4 times before we had this nice outside bar. Here's the inside bar. Put a nice bullish outside bar here to confirm the support for this trend channel. And then we've been grinding higher we got to the highs of December and 2020. We tested that bit of a bit of a rejection, another outside bar here, but you can see what the difference is. This is the bullish outside bar. That's a bearish outside bar, and this one is almost 100 pips, and this one's probably half the size. No momentum on the follow through bar, and then once we get above this outside bar, there's a lot of stops placed, and this added to the buy-in pressure, and we push higher. So technically, this is what you kind of look for in price action. And when you start to read it a little bit better, you can kind of see where these moves are and use it as confirmation to help with your trading on the smaller time frames. So Friday was a good day for AU, some nice moves and good for breakout trading. Let's look at the weekly. I mentioned this earlier in the year. If you imagine 2020 candle, this is where we opened. We sold off all the way down, and this is where we closed in 2021. Well, this is where you close. So you can see that this would be a huge kind of pin bar for the yearly on Aussie dollar. And now that we've broken these the highs of 20, well, the high of the, well, where 2020 closed, this might be the start of another leg higher. And should it be anything like the 2020 leg, then AU's got a really long way to go here. The initial target would be this level, 81.25. You can see it's been respected 3 times as resistance. And because of this momentum by the bulls, you expect that we're going to get to this around this level and test it in the coming weeks. So that is an obvious target, maybe where people want to take some profit as well. So look towards that. I'm not sure when we'll get there, but I think we will in the next few weeks. AU is on a bit of a rampage. Right, it's 8:30 now. I'm going to leave it there for today. Hope that was okay for you guys. Anyway, if you want to sign up for that newsletter, that'd be amazing. But good luck with your trading this week, and I'll speak to you. If I don't do the review tonight, I'll chat to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.